What a first Friday in the NFL 2024 season. Hi everyone, this is Sebastian Fonseca with Spectator Sports. We're going to break down Eagles-Packers from Brazil. Before we get into it, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and let's get into breaking down this epic game in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Saquon Barkley was fantastic, sensational. I don't know what else to describe this performance. He would make the amazing soccer stars of Brazil proud. Pele, Ronaldinho, Neymar, for example, with his hat-trick at Corinthians Stadium. He was sensational from the first quarter onwards, from receiving catches out of the backfield on a wheel route or pounding it for a go-ahead touchdown and then just wearing down the Packers defense. Saquon Barkley is very much what the Eagles could be looking for, as the 49ers found in Christian McCaffrey. If these Eagles can hit this new level of offense with Saquon Barkley, which is an already lethal offense, it's going to be a pick your poison type of offense. Saquon Barkley, the ability to be such an aggressive runner behind an offensive line that is probably the best he's run behind in his entire career. And I know Giants fans are ruining the day that their GM let him walk for nothing. The Eagles eked out a 34-29 victory in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Like I said, this is the first ever game in Brazil, the Southern Hemisphere at all. And again, I gotta say, the atmosphere in Sao Paulo in Corinthians Stadium was electric, and I was really interested to see how this game is going to break down. It's the first ever real game on a Friday in a long time. But getting into the football of this, the Eagles offense looks really good. It was a shaky start. First couple of drives, first couple of possessions were backed up inside the 15-yard line. Both ended up in turnovers. One was a terrible Jalen Hurts interception by Xavier McKinney, and another one was a bot snap from Jason Kelsey replacement Cam Jurgens, and that's a miscommunication. Jalen was making another call or shouting out some kind of signal, and Cam snapped the ball, went off Hurts' shoulder, and recovered by the Packers deep in Philadelphia territory. Now, credit to this Vic Fangio defense, because when you are backed up first couple of drives and immediately all you give up is a couple of field goals, that's pretty good in my opinion. And it was 6-0. The Eagles kind of settled down after that, and they immediately get their offense going. Saquon is introduced to the mix, and then they hit him on this amazing wheel route from Hurts to go ahead 7-6, and that's when the offense started to take off. You saw some Jaden Reed action with some deep passes, some gadget plays, and the Packers are a really fun team. They have a lot of speed, and I was very impressed with how much they were able to do against an Eagles defense that is good on paper but still trying to find its way through, especially so early on under Vic Fangio's tutelage. Some early observations from just the first half. I was very excited to see just new formations with this Kellen Moore offense and just motion. We didn't see the Eagles finished last in motion, pre-snap motion in 2023. Now we're getting a ton of it. We even saw some decoy action. Will Shipley, who is their third running back on the roster, he didn't even see a target, but he was just brought onto the field, and he's kind of the scat bat third down passing running back, and he was just running in motion, and that kind of let the offense know that, okay, if you move him out, is it zone, is it man, we don't know until we make this motion. I was very impressed with how the offense looked despite that really rough start, and there's still some kinks to be kind of ironed out, or some issues that we saw. I mean, there was some bad play calling. I didn't like the lateral Jalen Hurts runs. I just like to see him get ahead of steam if it's a draw play. The read option is a work in progress. Jalen made some bad reads. He was stuffed. He even lost some yardage. He didn't have a lot of rushing yards in this game. I think his long was 8 yards, but it was a very powerful run in a pivotal moment in the game where the Eagles just needed to get some momentum. It was a way to kill the clock, and this was a drive. The Eagles are up 2 with about 7-ish minutes left in the ball game, and you probably are not sure if they're going to see the ball yet again, and at a minimum you want to kill some time, flip field position, and then get into scoring range, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown to ice it being up 2. And chugged along, and Devontae Smith, I think, was clinical in this last drive. He found himself open on drag routes, or just was there finding soft spots, holes in the zone. And again, this is a pick your poison type of offense, because earlier in the game, just kick off the third quarter, AJ Brown burned Jair Alexander on a go route, and it was cutting up inside and then going all the way across the field and just outran Jair Alexander to the pylon. We still saw some issues with Jalen where he tried to test Jair again, and it was zone, and Jair kind of sat back and knew the play was coming to AJ. It was great awareness, and we had to pick it off, and kind of bring back some momentum, because if the Eagles were able to even settle for 3, it was going to be 34-26, and I thought the door was going to be open for Green Bay to not only just take a possession off the board and nullify points, but then the Packers could go ahead and score. And it was a very dangerous point. They were making some moves down, and yet again the defense bent but didn't break. They got a key stop in the fourth quarter. I was very impressed with situational defense. I think there were some things to clean up, especially getting burned by Jaden Reed in the first half on a couple big plays, and I think he was probably their best offensive weapon. But for the most part, the Packers offense was held relatively in check. I mean, looking at the whole thing, the defense held this Packers offense to 1 for 4 in the red zone, 3 turnovers that got into Philadelphia territory. All of them resulted in field goals. Really, really good job there. And just, again, great situational defense. I thought that it was a bend but don't break mentality, dialed up some blitzes, and yes, there's still some things to clean up. Bad penalties, sloppy play, had a couple times where Nakobe Dean had a pick 6 in his lap, dropped it. Darius Slay forced a fumble, no one could come up with a loose ball, and those did turn into points. So going forward, the defense is gonna have to capitalize when turnovers present themselves. They did get a Reed Blankenship turnover that the Eagles cashed in for 7, so that was good on their part. And I think that was really the difference in this game. When the Packers made mistakes, the Eagles punished them for the most part. The Packers forced Eagles mistakes, but they left a lot of meat on the bone, especially with those 3 field goals in Philadelphia territory. And going back to the defense, holding Jordan Love for a 7 out of 34 completion percentage is phenomenal. This is a guy that is great on the move, and he made a lot of hard throws. I mean, the bootleg, not even setting your feet, just chuck that ball over to Jaden Reed for the 70-yard bomb. That was really impressive. I haven't really seen anyone really do that outside of Mahomes, and that's credit to Jordan Love. But I definitely thought that there were some easy passes that he just missed, and then there was just others that were altered by pressure or a really good defense. The rookie Quinion Mitchell, I thought he was great. He was tested early, and he clamped up on most of his assignments. I think he was flagged on 1 play, but for the most part he was excellent, and I think the Eagles found a stud in the first round, and we're gonna see how this really progresses. But it was a great start to this campaign. All I heard coming into it's a football Friday, you're hearing all the pregame shows and everyone saying that this slump, the way the Eagles finished, that's the known commodity. We knew the Packers were ascending, the Eagles were descending. And that was immediately put to pause on a very hard-fought victory. And credit to the Eagles coaching staff from top to bottom. I think they made some great adjustments and just made the timely place to put their players in successful situations.